Welcome to the Green Urbanist Podcast, the podcast for urbanists fighting climate change. I'm Ross.
The next acronym, MTEs, which stands for Metropolitan Transport Executives. Listeners probably have no idea what that means, but chances are you're very familiar with what they are. It's like a TfL, Transport for London, or RTA, or LTA style governance structure. So the RTA it's in Dubai, the LTA is in Singapore, and TfL is obviously in London. And these are governance structures which bring together or attempt to bring together all transport operators in a city or metropolitan region together under one roof. So instead of having numerous competitors, like 6 different bus companies competing for the same clients on the same routes, which actually can work reasonably well in the short term. In the Philippines, for example, there's the jeepneys. These are informal or converted army jeeps into these minibuses, which are the main form of public transport. And they're really quite fascinating, but they're highly competitive with one another. There's a lot of independent operators or very small cooperatives. And in the medium to long term, they really start to have collectively damaging behavior and generally offer a poor service quality. So in these contexts, it's really good to develop this MTE, this Metropolitan Transport Executive, to try to rationalize and optimize these routes, and also to sort of centralize the transport budgets and finances, which makes it possible, or at least a lot easier, to develop big public transport infrastructure projects like BRTs and MRTs. And also, if you have a tram, a BRT, and MRT all in the same city, you ideally would like to have a unified, smart ticketing system. And for that, you need to have some form of governance that manages all of this centrally. I suppose you could say that in the short term, these MTEs, they can be quite negatively disruptive on existing operators. But in the long term, they have numerous benefits, and the risks of not forming MTEs is far greater than having these MTEs. In the Philippines, they have what they call the PUVMP. It's the Public Utility Vehicle Modernizations Program. Another big acronym. And as part of this project, they're working on a BRT project, but they're also looking on how to formalize and sort of tidy up the jeepneys. So along certain corridors in Metro Manila, for example, where there's just back-to-back-to-back jeepneys, it's quite a logical location to put in a high-capacity, much cleaner, much more organized BRT with designated stations. So the jeepneys right now, they stop everywhere and people jump on and off. It's quite chaotic, and they also pollute a lot. So it's looking at how we can re-rationalize the public transport operations, and in certain locations provide higher capacity modes of transport, and instead using the jeepneys as a feeder service to some of the key bigger stations. So that's one thing. As part of the PUVMP, they also have a micro loan program to help the old jeepney drivers upgrade to modern, I think they're Euro 4 or Euro 5 jeepneys. And by that, I'm referring to the engine standards, and also electric jeepneys. I actually I did a deep dive video on this specific topic, where I spoke to someone from the Department of Transport, someone from Clean Air Asia, an NGO, and a industrialist who's built the first electric jeepney. And he also built the Pope Mobile when the Pope came to the Philippines. It's a fascinating topic, and I have to say the Philippines is doing a great job. They have huge challenges, but they're not shying away from them, and they're being very progressive in many ways. And unfortunately, what they have to do is very negatively disruptive for many individuals, but you need to, at some point, find good solutions to these problems. And they're doing their best, but obviously the terms of the loans are not favorable for these lower income jeepney drivers, but they're not completely ignoring that this project is disruptive, and they're trying to accommodate as best as possible.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because there is, I suppose, a human cost to these things. People have had a kind of informal market for many years, and then suddenly you step in and starts getting more highly regulated. It's sort of not really their fault that they've been allowed to do something that maybe was not regulated enough for many years. I suppose there must be ways of integrating the existing private sector stuff, but in a maybe more regulated way.
Thanks for listening in. This was an extract from my most recent podcast appearance on the Green Urbanist Podcast, where Ross and I had a fun-flowing conversation about my life and work as an urban planner in Southeast Asia. You can go and watch the full-length podcast on my YouTube channel, or you can listen in by searching the Green Urbanist Podcast on all major podcasting platforms.